Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Acharya Aniruddha Dasa ki Sadhguru Swami Bhagavan ki Prem se Kabul Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Shri Shyam Kunda Radha Giri Govardhana ki Guru Vrindavana ki Tripaya Purana ki Vilochana Chandra Purana ki Yuchana Puri Iskansari Yatra ki Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Shri Shri Gauritai ki Dalmani Muni ki Devi Tulasi ki Thanks in the book and Prasadam distribution ki Harinam Sakinanda ki All glories to the Assembly. All glories to the Assembly. All glories to the Assembly. All glories to Shri Guru and Guru.
Shri Sadguru Parampara ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Sahara Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Lord Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Haribo. So, Srimad-Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 22, Text 59. Dharmarat Iva,
Dharmarat Iva,
like King Yamaraj,
like King Yamaraj,
the superintendent of death,
superintendent of death,
Shikshayam
Shikshayam
in education,
in education,
Ascharya
Ascharya
in opulence,
in opulence,
Imavan Iva,
Ivan Iva,
like the Himalaya mountains,
like the Himalaya mountains,
Kuveraho,
Kuvera,
the treasure of the heavenly planets,
the treasure of the heavenly planets,
Iva,
Iva,
like
like
Kosha Adyaha,
Koshadyaha,
in the matter of possessing wealth,
in the matter of possessing wealth,
Gupta Arthaha,
Gupta,
secrecy,
secrecy,
Varunaha,
Varuna,
the demigod named Varuna,
the demigod named Varuna,
Yatha,
Yata,
like
like
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Kuvera Iva Kashadhyo,
Kuvera Iva Koshadyo,
Kuvera Iva Kashadhyo,
Kuvera Iva Koshadyo,
Gupta To Varuno Yatho,
Gupta To Varuno Yata,
Gupta To Varuno Yatho.
Gupta To Varuno Yata.
Please repeat.
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Kuvera Iva Koshadyo,
Kuvera Iva Koshadyo,
Guptarto Varuno Yata,
Gupta To Varuno Yata,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Kuvera Iva Kosadyo,
Kuvera Iva Koshadyo,
Guptarto Varuno Yata,
Gupta To Varuno Yata,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Dharmarat Iva Shikshayam,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Ascharye Himavan Iva,
Kuvera Iva Koshadhyo,
Kuvera Iva Koshadyo,
Gupta To Varuno Yata,
Gupta To Varuno Yata.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Maharaj Prithu's intelligence and education were exactly like that of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. His opulence was comparable to the Himalaya mountains, where all valuable jewels and metals are stocked. He possessed great riches like Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets, and no one could reveal his secrets, for they were like the demigods Varunas. Purport. Yamaraja or Dharmaraj, as a superintendent of death, has to judge the criminal living entities who have committed sinful activities throughout their lives Consequently, Yamaraja is expected to be most expert in judicial matters. Prithu Maharaj was also highly learned and exceedingly exact in delivering his judgment upon the citizens. No one could excel him in opulence any more than estimate the stock of minerals and jewels in the Himalaya mountains. Therefore he is compared to Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets. Nor could anyone discover the secrets of his life any more than learn the secrets of Varuna, the demigod presiding over the water, the night, and the western sky. Varuna is omniscient, and since he punishes sins, he is prayed to for forgiveness. He is also the sender of disease and is often associated with Mitra and Indra. Dharmaradiva shikshayam ashcharye himavan iva kuvera iva kashadhya guptatho varuno yatha. Maharaj Prithu's intelligence and education were exactly like that of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. His opulence was comparable to the Himalaya mountains, where all valuable jewels and metals are stocked. He possessed great riches like Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets, and no one could reveal his secrets, for they were like the demigods Varunas. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamayam Dudati Svaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanastitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahagana Shri Vishakam Vitanscha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindaveshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripika Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavadevyo Vaishnavyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's a little bit a descriptive verse, just saying about some qualities and comparing. Due to these qualities, they compare Maharaj Prithu to Yamaraj and Varuna. So we all know who is Yamaraj, we all know who is Varuna, and there are some special qualities about them. They all met Krishna. And even more, Yamaraj is one of the Mahajanas. So we know there are 11 Mahajanas, and Yamaraj is one of them. It also, Prabhupada also explains in purport that Maharaj Prithu was highly learned and exceedingly exact in delivering his judgment upon the citizens. So to punish sinful living entities is the duty of Yamaraj. He is doing it with unlimited living entities who are living their bodies in human form of life. Because as we know, animals, they are not responsible for their activities. They are not creating karma. They are just, they're already living their karma. They're living their sentence. So those who leave the body in human form of life are subject to be judged by Yamaraj. And this judgment is very exact. You know, there are some shastras even they're mentioning particular punishments for particular sins. But we know Prabhupada was never, you know, quoting those particular shastras or bringing our attentions to them, because it's not of importance for us. Our aim and object is beyond material reward or punishment. Our aim and object is transcendental. So even Vaishnavas are praying whether we go to hell or to heaven, doesn't matter. I mean, elevated Vaishnavas, like our Acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Narottam Das Thakur. They say, it doesn't matter for me. Oh my Lord, if you place me in hell, or if you place me in very, so to say, materially favorable condition, the only boon I'm praying for is the association of your pure devotees. I mean, there are many passages similar to that. So, we're supposed to not care for material outcome, which is difficult because we're attached to certain lifestyle, to certain comforts, to certain rewards. You know, we are doing our duties in devotional service, but we still expect others to react in certain way. You know, and we still expect certain condition for that to be fulfilled. If that is not there, we are disturbed, and maybe up to the extent that we will not do our service. This is the state of Kanishta Adhikari, beginner devotee. We often call ourselves devotees, but actually we are practitioners of Bhakti Yoga. We want to become devotees, because devotee is a synonym of Vaishnava. And Vaishnava is somebody who is fully surrendered to Krishna in his heart. So we are not yet on that platform, at least myself. I don't know, I cannot see your hearts. Maybe some of you are. But even though somebody would be that elevated, will never reveal his high position, would always consider himself fallen and unworthy. That's we learn from Acharyas. They never call themselves, I'm an Acharya, I'm a pure devotee Vaishnava. When Prabhupada came to Western world, he came to Boston, by Jaladuta. You know all this story very well, of course. So he wrote a poem, and in that poem he was mentioning that I have no qualification whatsoever. You know, and we know Prabhupada is regarded as Shakti Avesh even, but he has empowerment from Krishna to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Now this preaching mission Prabhupada took upon himself was a desire of his revered spiritual master. It wasn't just his own desire, oh, let me become a great preacher. Not at all. All he wanted in his life is just to please his guru. And his guru was a most elevated transcendentalist, most dear devotee of Lord Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada was also one of the most dear devotees of Lord Krishna. And he is the greatest preacher of all times. There is no one in history who could have preached so successfully. You know, if you even compare to like great Sampradayika Acharyas, they were not as successful in their preaching. You know, I cannot say successful, not the right word, but nobody could cover the whole world with their preaching, so to say. You know, Prabhupada inspired inhabitants of each and every country to practice. So this is the greatest preaching ever seen on our planet. And still Prabhupada is coming and saying, I have no Shakti, I have no qualification. How am I supposed to do this wonderful, how am I supposed to fulfill this wonderful task? These inhabitants of these Western countries, they're completely, I use my own language, moded out. They're completely under the influence of modes of ignorance and passion. So they're not even coming close to Sattvagun. What is the hope that they might understand this transcendental message of Srimad-Bhagavatam? Right, Prabhupada? I'm not lying, right? If I remember correctly. He speaks like that. Because the message of Srimad-Bhagavatam is actually what is being delivered or passed down through Parampara system. The proper interpretation or Srimad-Bhagavatam as it is, without any concoction or some speculation on top of it. Just the way Srimad-Bhagavatam manifested when Krishna left this world, and Srimad-Bhagavatam appeared. There was one of the questions. I don't remember now who was asking. Was it Parikshit Maharaj or? But it's in Bhagavatam, this question. What happened when Krishna left? Where Dharma took shelter of knowledge. So then the verse goes that Srimad Bhagavatam appeared as a sun, transcendental sun, it's compared. And it is as good as Krishna. Furthermore, there are verses in Srimad Bhagavatam which are explaining that Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound incarnation of the Lord. You know, there are different pramanas, proofs, mentioned in Vedas. Who knows which are those pramanas?
Pratyaksha.
Pratyaksha is direct perception, sense perception. Anumana is mental speculation. Yeah, I mean, they call it logic or Shabda.
Sound is scriptures.
Yeah, it's a transcendental sound, not material. There is also one pramana mentioned, Aitiha or Itihasa. Itihasas are like historical evidences. We call them evidences, but actually we know, even materialists know that history is written by the winner. Somebody won the war, okay, our cause was great, and the enemy was rascals, and blah, blah, blah. And that goes in history book. So, and we're reading it, and yeah, but actually it's not guaranteed that it was like that. So, and Srimad Bhagavatam and Vaishnavas, they are disregarding all pramanas except Shabda pramana. I mean, it is said, yes, you can use like Anumana or other like Pratyaksha if they are supportive of the conclusion of the Siddhanta, Shabda pramana. So, like Prabhupada was given an example of Anumana. I don't know if anybody is in that room, but I hear him talking. So I can assume there is a person, you know, maybe I even know that voice, then I know, oh, Damodar Prasad Prabhu is there, no? But I don't see. That's my mental speculation, the conclusion. But I might be mistaken, maybe somebody plays a recording of him, for example. I mean, and Pratyaksha is even more bewildering. We know as conditioned souls we have 4 defects, and one of them is imperfect senses. So we cannot ascertain correctly. There's example, like we cannot ascertain the fact with our senses. There was a bunch of blind men, and then they were experiencing an elephant. You know, somebody was touching his trunk, somebody is touching his, legs, his tail, And everybody was deriving different conclusions what elephant is, you know. But elephant is not a trunk or a tail or the leg, you know. It's the whole consisting of these parts, and there are more qualities to what they could perceive through, you know, touching, because they couldn't see. So the internet is cheating me. I just opened these prayers for Srimad-Bhagavatam, but you have to install some app and this and that, so they disappeared. And I don't remember them by heart. Let me try to open it again.
Which prayers you're looking for?
Yeah, the invocations Govind Swami Maharaj used to, like a collection. One of them is Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup, Sri Bhagavata. So it means Swarup. What is Swarup? Like the general meaning, what is Swarup?
Swa means own and form.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Bhakti Rasa Swarup. Krishna Bhakti Rasa. So the form of Krishna Bhakti Rasa is Srimad-Bhagavatam. And that is extremely high, no? These are very high words. Like, we know our goal is Krishna Prema, right? And Prema is love of God, and it is manifested in different flavors of humors, transcendental humors. They are called rasas. So, oh yeah, okay. And how to know this rasa? How to taste this rasa? Because once we will taste that rasa, we will be averse to mundane rasa, so-called rasa. Nothing will stop us on devotional path anymore. So Srimad-Bhagavatam is the key to taste that rasa, because Srimad-Bhagavatam is Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup. There are like 5 most powerful, you can say, aspects of devotional service. I think Mahaprabhu mentioned them, if I'm not mistaken. There is also Bhagavata Shravana included. You remember the rest of them?
Living in the holy land.
Yeah, one of them.
Sankirtan.
Sankirtan.
Yeah, chanting Hare Krishna.
Chanting that, yeah.
Worshipping the deity.
Association of devotees.
Yes,
And then hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam.
yes. And they actually have an order how they unfold, but the secret is there is only one of them which contains all of them. Any ideas?
Eating prasad.
It's not mentioned probably because it's so obvious. Mahaprabhu did mention that, but amongst those 5, there is one of them which contains the rest. But having that one, the rest will manifest.
Chanting.
No.
Association of devotees.
Yes. Because real sadhu will give you Krishna in the form of name. In his association you would be able to chant. And wherever sadhu stays is Mathura, is Vrindavan. So, because real tirtha is not the place but the person, the elevated devotee of Krishna. That makes the place tirtha. Even it is, the verse is there. Basically, the idea is that people go to take bath in holy rivers to purify themselves. But actually sadhu purifies all that by taking bath in those places. So the same goes for any activity. If we have these 9 processes of devotional service, extremely powerful. They are very powerful. It is said that they even give you Bhakti Mukhi Sukriti. You do it knowingly or unknowingly. You get this Sukriti which brings you bhakti in the future, just by associating with these activities. It's called Bhakti Kriya Sangha. If you just involve yourself in one of those, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam and so on, you get that, like Prabhupada used to compare it to transcendental bank balance. Whatever you do for Krishna, it's being collected. Once that reaches, the amount of that would be like Mountain Meru, you will have certain changes in your consciousness. You will get naturally certain understanding about this material world. You will get a right perspective that this is Dukhalayam, Ashashvatam. That is needed. You should understand that we are not fit to be here. It's not our home. It's not our place. It's a place of suffering and it's temporal. It's temporary. And that is also, that's not the highest realization, but that is required. Prabhupada was chastising sometimes his disciples. He was saying, Mayavad is this and that. But at least those serious practitioners, they have realized that this is a place of suffering. And have you realized? He was asking his disciples, have you realized that basic truth? So this Sukriti, when you have this Sukriti, by the way, there are 3 types of Sukriti. Who knows? What is Sukriti? And basically, what is Sukriti? Who knows? You definitely know, probably.
This karma, jnana, and
Yes.
bhakti mukha sukriti.
Yeah, because Sukriti is the, in one word you can say piety. Sukritina, somebody who is pious. But then, if we go into details, there are different types of Sukritis. Because one might be pious and he will get heavenly planet due to his accumulated karma unmukhi Sukriti. He did some karma, he planted some trees, digged some well, fed the needy, distributed some blankets, opened schools, hospitals. This is all pious activity, regarded in Vedas as karma. There is vikarma also, like impious activity, not pious activity. Whatever goes against the prescribed laws of Dharma. So whoever does good karma gets Sukriti, but that is karma unmukhi Sukriti. Then there is jnana unmukhi Sukriti. It's, how you say, Sukriti is like your adhikar, your qualification. I was mentioning, if you have bhakti unmukhi Sukriti, you'll get certain understanding. And the second part, you'll get faith. You'll get some faith. This adau shraddha, it only comes if one has enough Sukriti. You cannot have adau shraddha if there is no enough bhakti unmukhi Sukriti. Many come in contact with acharyas, this transcendental process, but they don't, cling to it. Just because no adhikar. But this process is wonderful, as we mentioned in the beginning. If you're in contact with these 9 activities, Shravanam, Kirtanam and so on, you get that Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. If you come in contact with real sadhu, you get that Sukriti. This is wonderful process. Somebody who is completely unqualified can become qualified. Even by the mercy of sadhu, he can become qualified at once. But Prabhupada was, this famous statement, I gave you Sukriti. Somebody was asking Prabhupada, but we are, like in his prayers, Prabhupada was mentioning, what is the qualification of Westerners? They are just in modes, in the lower modes of nature, without any hope of coming to Sattva-gun. So, but now Prabhupada, we're doing this, practice. How is it possible? We never had Sukriti before. I gave you Sukriti, Prabhupada said. So then, Jnana Unmukhi Sukriti means somebody is qualified for Jnana. We sometimes see this type of persons. They are immediately able to grasp, some essence of some knowledge, but it doesn't qualify them as bhaktas. They might even know scriptures very well, because there is very logical arrangement in the scriptures, in Vaishnava scriptures, extremely, very fine and very, and Jnanis could be very well versed in bhakti shastras, externally, but there would be no bhakti in the heart. That is one, well, not just important factor, but the most important factor is bhakti. I'm not saying that other Sukritis are bad, not at all. They're not bad. They could be there, they might not be there. Somebody might be Sukritina or Dushkritina. He can be engaged in bhakti. If by the mercy of Krishna, Vaishnavas in the process, he has received this little mercy to start, to start this Adau Shraddha. With this little faith, one will understand I'm like a fish out of the water. I'm just drowning in this ocean of suffering. That understanding comes naturally if that Sukriti is there. It's inevitable. It has to be. One just understands that. And then he really prays for Krishna's mercy. He prays to be saved. He wants out. He's drowning. It's not anything theoretical. It's just practical. One understands that. And one prays for Krishna's mercy. Krishna sends his mercy in the form of spiritual master, in the form of sadhu sangha. So therefore we have Adau Shraddha, then sadhu sangha. It's natural. Somebody who has little faith, Adau Shraddha, he will run for sadhu sangha. Naturally, he will run. He will want to have sadhu sangha. He knows it's the only solution. There's nothing else of interest in this world. Okay, there could be still our interest because he's a Kanishta Adhikari, but that's the primary interest. He knows that is the key, that is the solution. If one haven't come to that preliminary stage, then definitely cannot start bhakti. That's a fact. So if we are practicing, but we don't have even that preliminary realization, means we are not, we are gathering Sukriti. We need a little bit more Sukriti for this understanding to manifest. Simple as that. But it's not bad. We should be aware of our condition. We should be honest with our own self. We shouldn't project ourselves to some, because we are so knowledgeable in Gyan, devotional knowledge. So we pick a place for us and place ourselves there. And we sentimentally believe that I'm on that platform. But you cannot really walk up if you're not even on the stairs. You can imagine yourself to be walking up the stairs, but you're not really, in reality you're not doing it, right? It's just mental concoction. It's not the artificial imposition of the mind, Prabhupada used to say. It's all practical. So practically why all the acharyas and great Vaishnavas, they are saying, I'm not qualified at all. I have no qualification. They have qualification. They have the highest qualification. They have unlimited amount of Sukriti. Unlimited. They will never run out. They can share with unlimited numbers of conditioned souls and they will still not run out of that Sukriti. They are transcendentally the richest men. If we make an analogy. So, but why they still behave as poor beggars? What's the reason? Prabhupada came and he was begging for mercy. Krishna, I'm a poor beggar. I have nothing. You just brought me here somehow. That's the will of my spiritual master. You're not bringing me here, so it's all set up in motion. But please, make me dance, he was saying, right? Make me dance. I'm a puppet in your hands. That's the perfect mentality of recipient of mercy. And pure devotees, they are always in that mentality. And we're almost never in that mentality. We think, I'm the doer, I have achieved something, I know something. That's actually the difference between Kanishta or beginner devotee and somebody who actually got some mercy. You know, one will have Abhiman, another one will not have Abhiman, will not have pride. If we have pride, we should be honest with ourselves. If we ever consider ourselves a devotee, we are no devotee whatsoever. It's simple as that. There is a verse by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one of his songs. Whenever you think yourself to be a Vaishnava, gates of hell are open wide. So, this is all to teach us that, like in the words of my Guru Maharaj, the duty of a disciple to pray, actually he said to beg Guru's mercy at every moment. Simple, he just said, that's basically all what it is. So as soon as we are in that mentality, something happens, some bhakti happening. We're able to do something in bhakti. And only if we are in that mentality, because the mercy should come. We are not the owner of mercy, we are beggar of mercy. What is our qualification? You know, we cannot say, oh, I have mountain marrow of, you know, Bhakti Mukhi Sukriti. What I have, how I have it, man. Like, I can imagine I have it, but that will not help. We should know I'm a beggar, I have nothing. Why all these prayers are there? I'm destitute, you know, I have no karma, like karma nahi, dhyana nahi, Krishna bhakti nahi. One line is there. Why is that? Unless we realize that, we will not beg for mercy. You know. So okay, if we are not realizing that, what shall we do? We should beg that we will realize that. Simple as that. Because we should find out exactly where we are at in Bhakti path in order for us to make progress. So if we know where we are, then we will know what is the next step, what is the necessity. Krishna Prema is the highest necessity. If you're praying for Krishna Prema, it's never wrong. But you can pray and think, oh, you know, let me be that manjari in that kunja. Like, do you have any entrance? Do you have any real connection? You know, have you realized that you're a soul? Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said first Atma Darshan, then Krishna Darshan. You get your realization, yeah, spiritual. That thing we're failing to understand. Prabhupada used to repeatedly bombard us that you are not the body. Yeah, we all know that it's basics. We are not the body, right? But still, all the designations remain. You know, real Krishna Prema is without designations, right? It's free. Upadhi, right? The word is upadhi. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam. Completely free from all the designations. I'm in this body. We're not even thinking I'm in this body. I'm this. I'm that. You know, I'm doing this. This is my seva. This is my qualification. I sing. I play mridanga. I cook. I do puja seva. I am a pujari. Who are you, Prabhu? I'm a pujari. 40 years pujari. Oh, Jai Dandavat. Who are you? Who are we? We are spirit soul, but always thinking I'm the body. Always in the, you know, our mind became trained up. Know some verses, following sadhana, you know, doing processes. But as long as there is no this mentality of akinchana and niskinchana, the beggar of Krishna's mercy, while we are engaged in certain seva activity, we're doing karma. Sorry, that's how it is. We are doing karma. If there is no right motive, Prabhupada was saying there is no difference. Devotee is doing and karma is doing. Same activity, just the consciousness difference. Motive is different. So we have to do our homework. We have to catch our mind. You know, we are getting this buddhi yoga, right? Tesham sadata yuktanam. Those who constantly engaged in my loving devotional service, I give them this intelligence with which they can come to me. So if we are sincerely trying to be engaged in devotional service, then by this weapon of buddhi, this intelligence coming from spiritual master, from the Shastra, we should see what's happening to our mind. At any given moment, whether I'm being the doer or I'm begging Krishna's mercy. And as soon as we were begging for mercy, mercy comes. I mean, it's simple as that. If we really beg for mercy, Krishna gives mercy. He does. But if we don't, then we are remaining in our chariot of the mind. And we can go on in the chariot of the mind for our life, for our devotional service, so-called. But we will not go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, in this way. We will not go. It's not mechanical. It's not automatic. It's the consciousness. Therefore, Prabhupada called it Krishna consciousness movement, right? We have to become conscious of Krishna. First, Prabhupada said, first become conscious, and Krishna conscious. Becoming conscious means I should know what's happening now. What is happening? I'm sitting here and talking Srimad-Bhagavatam. That's what's happening. I'm a lecturer here. Thinks my mind, right? And it's nonsense. Who am I to speak Srimad-Bhagavatam? Do I have qualification? Do I have Krishna Prem to speak Srimad-Bhagavatam? You know, it's Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup. How can I speak that elevated topic? Who am I? So what I'm doing, okay, yeah, I have actually no qualification, but it's the service given by acharyas. This is the process. I should follow it humbly. I have no qualification. Basically, I have no right to do it. But still it should be done because that's the instruction of spiritual master. This way it will become bhajan. Okay, I cannot manifest Krishna here with my sound. I cannot. I have no such shakti. But I can refer to the statements, pure statements of previous acharyas who explain perfectly this transcendental knowledge. And by this way, it will be some type of shravanam, smaranam. It will remind us of what we heard. You know, it will, because we all have certain realizations. For sure. I mean, how come we're here? Like, there should be some impressions in our heart. Some mercy we have received, undoubtedly. But we should be reminded, at least. We should train ourselves to remind ourselves, and it's very helpful that if there are like-minded devotees, you know, they will remind of that state of consciousness. They will remember, okay, yeah, that's clear why I'm here and what I'm doing here. So, I think I can stop here, right? Any comments? I really wish there would be comments.
I very much like this point about
this Lord Chaitanya is emphasizing these like 64 limbs of bhakti, and the 5 most important ones, like primary ones you can say, and then this sadhu sangha containing the other ones. I really like this point. I don't know, I mean I must have heard this before, but it never went inside. So I feel like from this I got some jewel today to remember. So thanks for this point.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the nice lecture. You mentioned this point that we should always see where we are at in our devotional service. So we have this 9 steps of devotional service. So let's say, but let's say one would be at the level of Bhav, and one knows about it because we can read it in scripture, or how it behaves. But but then it's maybe hard to see one, very low. So how do you do about that?
First of all, I'm not on the level of Bhav, but I heard explanations from senior devotees. Again, we come back to Prabhupada's example. Yeah, he was on the level of prayer. He wasn't on the level of Bhav, just on the level of Bhav. He was on the level of prayer. And he's begging for mercy. That's the whole realization. Jiva is, the term is Nishaktika. No Shakti. We are the Shakti, right? We are the Shakti. There is Shaktiman, only one. Only one Shaktiman, the rest are Shaktis. We are Shakti. That knowledge should come. We should really pray for that, to understand it. What is the peace formula? Very famous. Sarva Loka Maheshwara, Sukhridam Sarva Bhutanam, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, right? So Krishna is the owner of everything. He's the enjoyer of everything, possessor of everything. He's the controller, he's the provider. Jiva, what Jiva does? We have no Shakti. It's mentioned, okay, the consciousness is the Shakti of the Jiva, right? Prabhupada explains in one of the introductions, I don't remember, maybe Bhagavad Gita, he speaks about consciousness being the energy of the soul, right? I'm not making it up. You met this explanation. Prabhu, you met this? Am I making it up? Like the consciousness is symptom of the soul. Okay, symptom. That's better. Yeah. I'm being corrected because we are Shakti. We have no Shaktis. I was saying that and now I'm saying something else. Good. Symptom. So, other than that, what do we possess? I have big biceps. I'm strong. Yeah. I mean, I used to really think I'm strong. I used to do some sports before. I was very capable, so-called, in sports. But Krishna gave me some injury. And I became very incapable at once. Just at once. No more. Because, hey, you're stupid. Look, that's not you. You don't control it. You don't own it. It's just like you borrow a car. You borrow a car. It's not your car. It's a nice car. It might be like, wow, the Tesla Jeep or whatever is very, very cool nowadays. It's really capable, really beautiful tool. But it's just a tool. It's been borrowed to us. It can be taken, withdrawn anytime. Prabhupada was saying, you're so proud you can do this and that, but suddenly you get paralyzed. You cannot do anything anymore with your body, right? The ability to move would be withdrawn. For some reason, we might have done something in the past that this result is waiting to manifest. So, it's just logical. There are different levels of intelligence. Some they just understand by hearing. That's perfect. That's wow. I pay obeisances to such devotees, who just understand by hearing. That's all. You don't need anything else. The authoritative source, Guru, Sadhu, Mahajana, Shastra, they are saying like that. I accept, yes. It makes total sense, I follow. I have no questions. Yes, it is like that. Second is, yeah, maybe, yeah. And then we still go on, without following or doing that. And then we get smashed. Bam, we get some reaction. Oh my God, it's true. It's true. It's true. I follow. It's true. Like that. And then the third type is never learning. Always doing the same mistakes and never learning. What is the saying? Stupidity. Doing the same thing again and again, accepting different result. Right? Already you got once the bad outcome. Still doing it. Stupid. That's stupidity. I myself, I'm somewhere in between the two, second and third. Still doing stupid things, getting beaten, and Yeah. But slowly, sometimes understanding something. So it takes time. And it's usually when we are in trouble, we turn our face to Krishna. Krishna says there are 4 types of Sukritinas who are approaching me or taken to devotional service, right? Let us remember, who are they?
Artarti.
Artarti.
He's the wealthy.
No.
No, that's Arta.
Yeah, Artarti is the one who's after. Yeah. The one, anyway, you started, I'm interrupting.
So Arta is the one who suffered.
Yeah.
And this Artarti is for wealth. And this inquisitive, that's
a good one.
Yeah.
Inquisitive is a good
No,
one.
the Gyani is
And then Gyani is the last one.
Gyani, what is the one for?
Jigyasu?
Jigyasu.
Jigyasu, Gyani Charmartasha. So, I mean, the last ones, they're kind of good. But Jigyasu can be also a very casual one. You know, just kind of person who, not nosy, but he's like, oh, let me see what is that, let me see what is this. Sometimes they stay because they came to the right place with their Jigyasu. Jigyaso. Yeah? But, and the first 2, very rarely they stay. That's because, okay, I'm very much suffering. Oh God, please, cease my suffering. Okay. Maybe he will say thank you, maybe not. He's alright, he's no more suffering, it's okay, no need to approach God. And the one who's after money, yeah, just making business. Prabhupada saying we are not supposed to be making business, not money, anything. Kanaka, Kamini, Pratishta. We want any of those. We do in this process, but we want that reward. It will not help. But if you got little Sukriti, because they are all called Sukritina, right? At least you will turn your face towards God. For me, yeah, when I'm in trouble, I'm praying more intensely, so to say. Usually prayers are on the level of the mind, in my case. I don't know how is it with you. We offer prayers, we offer daily prayers. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor. Yeah. Or something like that. Is it on the level of the mind, or we're really begging for mercy? We do in our Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is it on the level of the mind, or we're really begging for mercy to be engaged in this elevated, transcendental, devotional service to Divine Couple? We're doing it 20, 30, 40 years. Are we crying for Krishna? Crying for Krishna. The whole point is to cry for Krishna. I'm not making it up. Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga Dhana, Bhakti Krishna Nama, Smarana, Krandana. Right? That's in very short, the essence of Bhakti Yoga. Crying for Krishna, but not the crocodile tears. Not the Krishna. He will not, you're not believing this. Why will he believe that? But real crying on a level of the soul. And sometimes, if we are of a lower intelligence, it helps us to be kicked by material energy. Suffering helps. I don't like to say it, honestly. I always was hating this idea. Why? Suffering is purifying. What? Taking nice plate of prasad is purifying. That is purifying. Going to nice kirtan is purifying. Listening to nice class is purifying. Why suffering is purifying? I'm so much against this idea. Even now, I'm not welcoming suffering. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying, I don't know, Sukha Dukha is this part of the life. Like the suffering in devotional service, in service to you, is my greatest wealth. He's saying that. He's embracing that suffering in devotional service. Because devotees go for some tribulations, some difficulties. You know, Prabhupada was going for so many extreme. I mean, Prabhupada, all the previous acharyas, almost all they tried to be killed. There was attempts in their life. That's quite a tribulation, right? Somebody wants to kill you. They make, you know, a conspiracy, they make a plan, and they try to do it. You heard, yeah, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. He was supposed to go in one village, a town, between the houses, and then local brahmanas, they were very upset with his statements, you know, because he spoke for brahmanas, he glorified them, they are very elevated, and then who were supposed to be, and then he spoke how Vaishnavas are higher than brahmanas, and brahmanas were so upset, we have to finish this preacher, you know, finish him. He's breaking, you know, the whole system. We are the topmost, and he's just destroying our position and everything. He's committing such an offense, we have to. So they actually gathered some men with stones on the rooftop. He was supposed to go with a procession, with his followers, sannyasis. You know, he was very famous by that time. And they were ready to throw stones. It was all set up. Nothing happened to Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, because Krishna gave inspiration to one of his disciples, who is, by the way, the sannyas guru of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah? He just, that time he was in white. Yeah? What is the name? Keshava?
Bhakti Pragyan Keshava.
Bhakti Pragyan Keshava. Thakur, we can say. What he did, he said to Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, that they want to kill a sannyasi in Shafran. They will not want to kill a grihasta. They looking specifically for you. So they actually changed clothes. I don't know if you're aware of this story. It's a fact. You can check it. I heard it from some Vaishnavas from Gaudiya Math. And they changed clothes, and this way Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur was saved. They just yeah, and
the Brahmachari was killed, or
what?
And someone in Saffron was killed.
No, he wasn't killed. He wasn't. I mean, but his readiness to sacrifice his life didn't go unnoticed, for sure. You know, for sure. This. I mean, that's the best thing to sacrifice your life for. If you sacrifice your life for Guru, he's ready. Yes, Gurudev, please. I take your shapran cloth. I'm ready to be killed for you. Just you put this white so they will not touch you. Because you must preach, you must go on, you know, nothing should ever happen to you. This mood, he had this mood. What happened also after that, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur gave him shafran, gave him sannyas, because he already accepted, you know, from the Guru, like that. And he's a great Vaishnava, he's a great character, and you know, he also a sannyas Guru of Srila Prabhupada. That is, some meaning is there always. It's not just by chance all this happening. That's the mood. Even your life you can offer. No. We don't have much to offer, that's the thing. we can just beg. You know, beggar on the street, he's not doing like business. Okay, you come here, I sell you this stuff, you give me that amount of money. I have no stuff to offer. I mean, I may be also crippled, I cannot dance, you know, I can show you some focus pocus, so you give me money. I have nothing. I'm just sitting here on the street. I will not survive if you don't give me mercy. That should be the mood. Like that we should pray to Guru Varga, to our Guru Maharaj, to previous acharyas, to Krishna. This is the mood. I will not survive. Simply I will not survive. I will die. I have nothing, I will die now. You please give me. But we should realize that. And we might realize it at a certain point, but then we forget it again. So we should realize it always. At any given moment, that should be the consciousness. I give example of myself, which is not the correct thing to do, but I don't have a better thing. You know, you have to cry for sadhu sangha, right? To be able to receive this mercy, to hear this. sound vibration which is coming from up above, from spiritual world, and sadhu is pure via medium. He will vibrate this transcendental sound. He will manifest Vrindavan. He will manifest all the tattvas. He will speak about Srimati Radhika. She will be manifested. This is the power of real transcendental sound vibration. I can only refer to that. I'm not on a platform, I have no access to Vrindavan. I'm blind there. Okay, maybe by Diksha your feet are placed in Vrindavan, but you still don't know how to walk. You need Shiksha, you need all the teaching, you have to become purified. So we have to cry for that. And I was there in a temple of my Guru Maharaj, serving there, staying there. It's a very powerful place. There is very powerful deity. Krishna is really manifested. You cannot avoid. He's just so vivid there. Things are happening to your life, to the life of others. It's just very clear. But still, I managed to become like, I was taking it for granted. Yeah, Guru Maharaj is there in the office. He's, by the way, temple president of that place. So anytime I can go and have darshan of my Guru Maharaj, I can have sadhu sangha. So I had some questions, some things, there were some, so to say, decisive moments in my life. I had to deal with it. So I was going to darshan, and I spent half an hour, mostly myself talking. Guru Maharaj just would listen. And afterwards, I didn't get anything, nothing. I came out empty-handed. And such a feeling of disgust. I just wasted time of my Guru Maharaj, just talking me, myself, and I. Why did that happen? I went to the darshan of Guru. Why didn't I get the darshan? I was a little bit shocked, so I started analyzing. I went to Gopal, I prayed, and then it was clear. Are you crying for sadhu sangha? Are you begging for mercy? Are you coming as a beggar there? Realizing if you don't get that mercy, you will not survive. Is that the mood with which you approach the sadhu? No, that wasn't the mood. So next time, when with Krishna's help, some crying manifested, I could get the darshan. I just came there, paid my obeisance to Guru Maharaj, started speaking. He knows, okay, now this Baba is a little bit sincere. Now he's ready to accept something. Before I come in with my mind there, and just my mind is, Guru Maharaj doesn't need that at all. I don't need that at all. I, as a soul, as a servant of Krishna, don't need that stupid mind, thinking I'm this and that. But unfortunately, that's the case with us. So, we just have to deepen our realization that we are beggars of mercy. Acharyas, the greatest devotees, Uttamadhikaris, have no problem realizing that. They are realizing that. They realize at any moment they depend on Krishna's mercy. Therefore mercy flows like unlimited ocean. They become the ocean of mercy. Right? But at any given moment they know it's Krishna's mercy, and they always beg for that mercy. That's the whole point. That's the whole trick. That's the answer, in short. So as long as we beg for that mercy, we'll get the mercy. And if we don't realize, really we have to do some homework. We really have to pray to Krishna and Guru to give us this understanding. Otherwise bhakti cannot even start. We can do many bhakti processes, but are they, they're like skin deep. And we should know that. Unless this crying for mercy is there, we're doing karma. Simple as that. Because the motive is not to get transcendental reward. Something else. And we have plenty of something else. Believe me, our heart is stuck. Stocked. Yeah, stocked. That's with something else. All these anyabhilashita, different desires. The only one which works is that begging for mercy, crying for mercy. Then we know we are not on, relying on some other motives. Otherwise, if that begging is not there, clear as day, that we are relying on some other motives. We have to do some self-analysis, what our motives are. It's just that. And I think now it's 9, we should definitely stop. Thank you for attentive listening. Grandara Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai, Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Jai Gauranga ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Sushant Chakra ki jai, Shri Sadguru Parampara ki jai, Samarita Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande.
Aniruddha ki jai,
Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudeva ki jai.
This place you're going for books is like what? Sunday or what?
Yes.
Well, there's somebody there.
Yeah.
And to fix.
Olha só pra cá, cresce por trás dele. Rosa. Aí. Esse rosa do lado, do teu lado direito, tá caidinho esse pano. Não. Aí tem na tua frente, isso. Tá vendo que tem um alfinete na frente? É. Pra prender. É o leque. Ferro.
Igual ventilador.
Igual ventilador.
Quando nada a ver, fala muito de fé, né? Eu falei,
É no lugar, né? Obrigada.